There's the tail cloud really beginning to come in now. There's the wall cloud coming down, and at times you see a attempt of a funnel cloud that's forming in the middle of that wall cloud.
All right, so that inflowing air was twisting on its way in. That's called helicity, and that helps some of these thunderstorms rotate. Thank you very much, Dr. Forbes. That was great, and we're going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
Where else on TV are you going to get that kind of analysis?
Nowhere else. Right here on the Weather Channel. That's it.
I love it. It's weather geeks.
Yeah,
unite.
Excellent experts here. Well, listen, storms rolled across the South, creating deadly devastation over the last 24 hours. Blown over trees came crashing down, killing one person in Alabama.
And a tornado is blamed for another death in Arkansas. More from the Weather Channel's Maria LaRosa.
This, the deadly devastation in Burnwell, Alabama, about 25 miles northwest of Birmingham. The storm's fierce winds whipping up to 70 miles an hour, toppling a tree onto this mobile home, trapping a husband and wife inside. Firefighters rushing to help the couple.
So I ran up in there, and he said his wife was entrapped, so I started looking for her, and I seen her legs laying there, and I told him I couldn't help her. There wasn't really nothing I could do for her except try to get her out.
The woman trapped. There was little they could do to save her.
I tried everything I could to get her out, but there was a tree on top of her.
75-year-old Shirley Hicks died of her injuries. Her husband was rushed to the hospital by relatives and survived. And this, the scene earlier in Little River County in southwest Arkansas. Storms there spawning an EF2 tornado that spun through the area, damaging homes before making a deadly hit.
We had a tornado come through and destroy part of one home, crossed over across the street, and destroyed another home where a person was killed, father was killed, the mother had injuries, and the children, 3 children, are now in the custody of their grandparents.
Eddie Witham was a decorated Marine who served 2 tours of duty overseas, including Iraq. The neighbors whose home was also hit say the force of the winds was incredible.
I've been in some strong winds, but nothing like this. I mean, it's a strange feeling when you feel the roof leave off your house.
The community this morning banding together after the terrible loss.
My yard has been full all day long with people just offering their services or whatever they could do to help. And it just shows that friends and neighbors, people that really didn't know.
Maria LaRosa, the Weather Channel.
And more than a dozen tornadoes reported across the South.
Many of the storms swept in fast and left a lot of damage. Just ahead, what you need to know if you find yourself inside your home with a tornado in the area.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms early, then partly cloudy after midnight. Low 77. Chance of rain 50%. Wednesday, thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is our new turkey cranberry flatbread before we craft it into a sandwich. The amazingly tender roasted turkey, always raised without antibiotics. The zesty cranberry mostarda. The freshly baked flatbread. But here's what you don't always see. The care and attention that goes into it. Because what matters most is the simple, delicious ingredients that make up the whole delicious meal made just for you. And this is our turkey cranberry flatbread sandwich paired perfectly with our autumn squash soup. Only at Panera Bread.
Brighten up your rainy day with a flatbread sandwich and soup from Panera Bread.
Today we're getting record snowfall.
Radars indicate there's been flooding throughout the area.
We're getting hail the size of golf balls.
Maglite. Turn your light on, America.
When I had my first migraine, I was lucky. That sounds crazy, I know, but my mom got migraines, so she knew this would help. Excedrin migraine starts to relieve my pain in 30 minutes, plus sensitivity to light, sound, even nausea. Excedrin migraine works. the invite? Remember to make reservations?
Absolutely.
Remember the tickets? Remember where we parked?
Absolutely.
The generously appointed Lexus ES and ES Hybrid with leading-edge connectivity. Unforgettable.
Yeah, I'm married. Does it matter? You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so...
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
If you're on Medicare, remember, the open enrollment period is here. The time to choose your Medicare coverage begins October 15th and ends December 7th. So call to enroll in a plan that could give you the benefits and stability you're looking for. An AARP Medicare Complete plan insured through United Healthcare. What makes it complete? It can combine Medicare Parts A and B, which is your hospital and doctor coverage, with Part D prescription drug coverage and more, all in one simple plan for a low monthly premium, or in some areas, no plan premium at all. An AARP Medicare Complete plan offers you benefits like an annual physical, preventive screenings, and immunizations for a $0 copay. You'll also have access to a local network of doctors and much more. When you enroll in an AARP Medicare Complete plan insured through United Healthcare, your benefits could also include routine vision and hearing coverage and prescription drug coverage accepted nationwide. And with the Pharmacy Saver program, you can get prescriptions for as little as $1.50 at thousands of pharmacies and retail locations like these. Now is the time to look at your options. Start getting the benefits of an AARP Medicare Complete plan insured through United Healthcare. We've been helping Medicare beneficiaries for over 30 years. We'll connect you with the right people and programs, offer smart ways to save, and give you the tools to help make your healthcare experience a positive one. Remember, open enrollment ends December 7th. Call United Healthcare today about an AARP Medicare Complete plan. You can even enroll right over the phone or visit us online. Don't wait. Call now.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
Well, Clearwater, St. Petersburg, those showers are now rolling right in, heading right on your doorstep there, too. In Tampa, we're seeing a lot of this rain coming down, and we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning here, but we're certainly going to keep an eye out for it for you. We do have an awful lot of lightning that's happening with these storms. In fact, take a look at this at the rain rate, too, 1.6 inches per hour. So we're going to watch out for flooding in any low-lying areas. And then we have the lightning to deal with, and you can see how much of it is popping up here, heading on into St. Petersburg. There's about 313 strikes right there, and we're going to keep an eye out also as we move a little further to the north. So these storms continue rolling, Dave. Some still dangerous weather ahead as we go throughout our afternoon.
Thanks for the heads up, Kyla. Well, you need to have a plan already in place if you hear a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, the best place to wait out the storm is always in a shelter or basement. But Mark Elliott shows you where to go if you are in a home with neither of those two as an option.
When you're under a tornado warning or you hear a tornado siren, and especially if you can see that tornado, now is not the time to grab that smartphone and start filming. Oops. Instead, it's time to get inside and seek shelter. You run inside to seek shelter from the storm and come up to your bedroom, which normally is pretty safe, until of course a tree crashes through your roof. Coming down to a lower level, great idea. Trying to see where the storm is outside those windows, bad idea. It was a good idea to leave the windows, but this exterior wall doesn't help you as much as you might think. No, tree limbs or 2x4s, They're like toothpicks when winds get as fierce as in these storms. Yes, your garage is on ground level and has 4 sides. No, it isn't going to protect you the way you want it to. So this is where you do want to be. Not only a low level, but the lowest level you've got. And you want to put as many walls between you and the storm as possible. And then you stay here until it's safe. Because this room could be the one thing that saves your life.
Yes, you want to know where to go, no doubt about it, before severe
Inside
weather.
and get down.
Yep, that's it. Well, everyone, we'd like to show you some of the images that have been coming in from all of this stormy weather in the last few days, so it's time to go to our top 5 videos.
Let's work from 5 to 1.
Let's do it.
What do you think? Now, this is pretty impressive. That's a severe thunderstorm with a wall cloud descending from it. That's the middle cloud right there. And you look in the wall cloud for maybe a tornado?
Yeah, absolutely. That's in West Point, Mississippi. A little scary. Number 4, storm chasers captured this ongoing lightning storm last night in Hamilton, Alabama. And boy, when it lights up the sky, you get an idea of where the storm is. A little scary when you've got dangerous, severe weather rolling through.
Power's still on, though, at least there. Number 3, strong rain coming down in Magnolia, Arkansas. All a function of this same storm that moved out of the Rockies this past weekend. Magnolia is in the southwestern part of Arkansas.
And number 2, take a look at this video.
Oh.
Yeah, a possible tornado formed between Corinth, Mississippi and Selmer, Tennessee last night. And we actually got several angles of this same funnel cloud, so it gave us a really good look at that storm.
And this is our number 1 video. This is storm damage from Monroe, Louisiana yesterday. Widespread damage to homes, businesses, semis were overturned.
Just crumpled, that sign.
Crumpled.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's our top 5. All right. Now, you can upload your videos anytime at weather.com/photos. We'd love to see it, and maybe it'll make the top 5.
Yeah, stay safe while you're doing it, though. Hey, more activity tonight in the tropics. A new storm threatens the people in Hawaii.
That's right. The latest on Tropical Storm Ana still ahead, including why it could end up in the record books.
Maybe you didn't know, people with the flu can spread it up to 6 feet away. Or that flu can make chronic conditions worse. Maybe you didn't know any of the stuff your Rite Aid pharmacist knows. But now that you've gotten your flu shot at Rite Aid, maybe you don't need to.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Football fans like meat on their pizza. Clearly, I'm a football fan.
Up your game with the new Ultimate Meats Pizza. A large for $12. Add a mega chocolate chip cookie for just $5 more.
Better ingredients, better pizza,
better football.
Papa John's.
Away. Away is the smell of victory. And the smell of burgers. Away is always having home field advantage, even when you're miles away from home. Find your away. For a dealer in the RV that's right for you, visit GoRVing.com.
You're going to want to watch 7 a.m. on AMHQ.
This is a big weather morning.
The biggest weather hour anywhere. What you watch in the morning matters.
Is your weather geeky this morning?
Make AMHQ your morning show. America's morning headquarters. Weekday mornings starting live at 7 Eastern on the Weather Channel.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American Supernatural. Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms early. Then partly cloudy after midnight. Low 77. Chance of rain 50%. Wednesday, thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 select tires, you get the 4th tire free, instantly. Plus, get up to $80 off select Cooper and Hankook tires. Trust the boys to get you there.
2 medium cappuccinos!
Let's show them what a breakfast with whole grain fiber can do.
I have 2 cappuccinos, medium macchiato, 2 espressos, 1 with a double shot.
And that's not the coffee talking.
Start your day with Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheat Cereal. It's a delicious way to get the nutrition you want.
I was out for a bike ride. I didn't think I'd have a heart attack, but I did. I'm Mike, and I'm very much alive. Now my doctor recommends a Bayer aspirin regimen to help prevent another heart attack.
Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Let's do a reality check. Kids will be kids. Dogs will be dogs. So let's get some paint that's more than just paint. Made to stand up to this and look beautiful for years. Let's lose the old marks and messes and stop new ones in their tracks. Let's worry-proof our walls. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Bear Premium Plus with Easy Clean Finish starting at $25.97 a gallon.
When he first joined the Army, I was very nervous.
We didn't know what they would have him doing. But Bobby always had a plan.
With unmatched training in over 100...
The conference call. The ultimate arena for business. Hour after hour of diving deep, touching base, and putting ducks in rows. The only problem with conference calls, eventually they have to end. Unless you have the Comcast Business Voice Edge mobile app. It lets you switch seamlessly from your desk phone to your mobile with no interruptions. I've never felt so alive.
Get the future of phone, and the phones are free. Comcast Business, built for business.
The Treasure Coast is a special part of Florida. It's why people retire here. It's why Bob and I moved here to raise our daughter, and I believe it needs to be protected. That's why I've worked hard to find funding to clean up the Indian River Lagoon and Loxahatchee. And it's why I voted to cut taxes and fees for our seniors and small businesses. Our community is worth fighting for, and I am just getting started.
See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
If you missed this Sunday night on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, every Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
2 minor tornadoes in the Atlanta metropolitan area overnight. Alpharetta, East Point. The threat of severe weather is over in Atlanta. See the clear skies? There's your cold front. The threat, East Georgia, the Carolinas, parts of Florida, and Southwest Virginia. Look at the swirl in here. That's the parent low. Low pressure right in there, right over St. Louis at the present time. Kansas City's cleared out. It is windy. Wind's going to be blowing in from left field out there for the ALCS game, which we will get in. It was postponed because of rain yesterday. But look at this tropical hookup right through Florida. This is headed for the northeast, my friend. You're going to get a little taste of thunderstorms with the potential for severe weather tomorrow. Heads up, Norfolk up to Washington, D.C., Philly, New York, everybody getting in on the act. And then on Thursday, heads up into New England. We could get some heavy rain in there, too. So that's a look at the threat for thunderstorms. Plus, well, let's have a look into the tropics. Let's go into, well, Kyla, she's got the story.
I do. Hey, take a look at this video, everybody. Back on August 8th, Tropical Storm Iselle hit the big island of Hawaii. It was only the second tropical storm on record to make landfall there. Now, Iselle dropped around 10 inches of rain on the southeast side of the big island and more than 14 inches in higher elevations. Thousands of people were left without power for weeks after Iselle. Hawaii on alert again today as a new storm heads their way. Michael Lowry is in the lab tracking it all. And Michael, little worrisome for Hawaii.
It is, because Anna is nearing hurricane strength and headed
in that direction. We'll update you on that in a minute. Lots to talk about here. Gonzalo now officially a major hurricane. This is the second major hurricane this season in the Atlantic Ocean, the first one being Edouard just a few weeks ago, moving northwest at 13 miles per hour. I want to show you very quickly where the track takes it toward Bermuda, intensifying it to a very powerful Category 4 hurricane. 140 miles per hour is what the latest forecast called for, and you can see Bermuda right here in the cone this later this week, say Friday evening. Now, it's hard to say exactly what part of the cone it's going to be on, and that is certainly a big deal, because if it does hit them, this is only a week after they were raked by Tropical Storm Faye, a tropical storm, 70-mile-per-hour tropical storm, but certainly causing a lot of damage there in Bermuda. We'll keep an eye on that one. Here is Anna. This is the latest information. 65 miles per hour. The threshold for a hurricane is 74 miles per hour. It's about 1,000 miles. It's 820 miles east-southeast of Hilo here in the Big Island of Hawaii, moving west-northwest a little more quickly at 8 miles per hour. This is what it looks like on the visible picture. The spin certainly there, the outflow, the tentacles in all directions, telling me that it's the winds, at least at the upper part of the atmosphere, very light, and it's going to allow this to strengthen, we think, into a hurricane. Here is the updated cone from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. 90-mile-per-hour hurricane by Thursday morning. Tomorrow morning, already a Category 1 hurricane. And at this point, it's very difficult to say in terms of the intensity 3 or 4 days out, but the cone takes it right over the Big Island as a hurricane sometime over the weekend, either Saturday evening or into Sunday. This is a very unusual occurrence. We've only had 2 tropical storms make landfall on the Big Island of Hawaii. The last one just a few months ago in August of this year. This would be the first, if it did make landfall, the first landfall on the Big Island on record. Kyla and Dave, back to you.
How about that? That little dot in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah, what are the chances, right?
Yeah.
Quite high, apparently, this season.
Well, storms and air travel don't mix well, but here's the good news. Despite the weather, airport delays are not too bad today.
Yeah, they really aren't, all things considered. Chicago to Atlanta delayed about 50 flights in the last few hours, but that's not bad if you think about how much stormy weather we've had.
Unless you're flying on one of those 50 flights.
Yeah,
right?
then it's not
bad.
Good.
Right.
But listen, in Charlotte, we're taking a look right now at the flight tracker. You see the planes coming in the red, going out in the blue. We've got pretty normal traffic. As you can see, just a little bit of rain there, so not bad at all. Want to look ahead to tomorrow, though, Dave?
Yeah.
Charlotte will just fine. Raleigh could see some delays, and then we get down into the Mid-Atlantic.
Right. DC, just notice the orange, moderate delays, and Philadelphia, same story, because this whole threat for thunderstorms is going to move east.
Exactly.
So the I-95 corridors will be up next in the Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, so heads up for everybody there.
Well, right now we are tracking a line of dangerous storms, the same ones.
That's right. Up ahead, where they are now, where they're heading, Kelly Cass and Paul Goodlow have everything you need to know to stay safe.
We guarantee it.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms early, then partly cloudy after midnight. Low 77. Chance of rain 50%. Wednesday, thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So still a severe thunderstorm warning, and they are also looking at the possibility of some flash flooding. And look at that. That was right on top of me. Maybe we want to get inside. We'll talk to you guys in just a bit.
And he did. He did get into shelter. Nearly 24 hours ago, our very own Dave Malkoff was taking cover as strong, dangerous storms moved across Nashville, Tennessee. Tonight, the threat is pushing east, and we have several new areas to watch. From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Weather Center Live. just want to point out Dave is fine today.
Yes.
He's doing just fine. Well, quite an impressive few days we've seen during this October severe weather outbreak. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kelly Cass.
And I'm Paul Goodlow. Right now, a state of emergency in Louisiana. Tens of thousands still without power. 2 are dead, and it's not over by far. Take a look at this in the yellow and the reds here. These are severe thunderstorm watches in the orange. 7 o'clock, the Florida Panhandle into Georgia. Georgia into coastal South Carolina. We're talking about that's till midnight tonight. And then north of there, central Georgia, upstate of South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. That is a tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight, meaning in and around both regions we are seeing strong and severe thunderstorms, and some can quickly produce tornadoes.
So we want to head right out to the lab in our storm tracker, Jim Cantori, where, you know, the threat has not passed for everyone, Jim, but hopefully not as busy as you were. By the way, good job last night.
Thank you, Kelly. Seriously though, when you think back, you and I were both here when Malkoff took that lightning strike. I mean, seriously, wasn't your heart like in your stomach?
I was scared for him. I really was.
That just absolutely freaked us all out when we saw that. And, you know, obviously you made the right choice by getting inside. But, you know, it's not a perfect world out there, folks. Unfortunately, when you go chase weather, it can sneak up on you. And I always tell everybody, you know, Cantori, hurricanes or tornadoes, what's your worst fear? Lightning. All right, let's talk about what we got going on. Big trough here in the eastern part of the country. The energy is driving north as opposed to over the moisture source, which is here. That would be a whole different animal today. We probably have tornadoes all over the place. But we'll see what happens tomorrow when this little pocket on the backside kind of makes its way all the way around and actually starts to drive up over this area, which will have the warm, moist air in place. So, you know, we're not done with this, is my point, and we'll keep an eye on things certainly and line it up for you as we go through tomorrow. But what a gorgeous shot here into October in terms of the visible satellite image. You've got this beautiful, very well-developed cyclone in the upper levels of the atmosphere, as well as at the surface. All sorts of stratocumulus clouds rolling in behind the main cold front there. Just an absolutely gorgeous sight. It's one of those days where if you're standing in Des Moines, you look to the west, it's clear skies all the way to Omaha. You look to the east, it's cloudy all the way to Chicago. And unfortunately, that's the kind of day that we're looking at. All right, the thing is, too, so here's the cold front right in through here. We've talked about where you can see that on the clouds, but off to the west, there's still some moisture left over. So really the real dry air is still back in through here, and that's what's kind of bleeding in and blending into this area. You'll notice, obviously, a much cooler and less humid day across the deep south, and of course, tonight will be the telltale as temperatures drop due to the fact that we don't have that moisture to absorb the radiation. So warm, moist air continues to dominate the picture, especially east of the Appalachians here. Again, Atlanta seeing the frontal passage now. Still a little moist out there, but it'll continue to dry out as that dry air we showed you on the water vapor and the dew point temperatures continues to drive its way on off toward the east. So as we saw yesterday, air coming in from the southeast, air ahead of the cold front from the southwest. A couple areas we're watching. We just watched some storms move through Jacksonville. Others that are moving through Tampa right now. Rain storms up through Cincinnati and on up in toward Detroit as well. Just kind of a wet, cool day. And even some heavier rain back into Iowa and Wisconsin and Illinois around that upper air low. The same one that plagued the Kansas City Royals last night and canceled their game because it was pretty much parked right over that area. So, Savannah, you're next under a severe thunderstorm warning here. Looking at storms that could potentially produce winds up to 60 miles per hour. And we've got a couple little kinks in the line here. We need to watch this. So those are surges, and that's where the wind damage could be. So that's going to come right, it's coming right across I-95 and eventually toward Hilton Head and Beaufort and all the way up toward Charleston eventually, I would imagine, as we watch this continue to drive on off toward the east. So here's this little kind of bow right there in the line. We'll see. Actually, we have some rotation on this. I'm going to look at the high. That's a good idea, Sarah. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. So some broad rotation, potentially down and through here. Not anything that tells me, hey, we got a tornado, but certainly something that shows me you have a surge in the line. That's getting ready to move right across Interstate 95 right now. Also another area up here toward Rincon seems to be a little bit of a surge as well as all this continues to head towards the east. So Chatham, Effingham, Jasper counties. That's Hilton Head, Montgomery, and Savannah. A lot of people down there obviously watching us and keeping an eye on those storms. Just take cover, let these things move through, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. All right, let's go back to the studio. Kelly's got the latest on what's going on across the rest of the nation.
All right, Jim, thanks so much. You know, 2 people were killed when storms tore through the South yesterday, one in Arkansas, the other in Alabama.
And in Arkansas, 3 children are now without their father, killed when their home was hit by an EF2 tornado. Meteorologist Mike Seidel has more.
It's occurring, and this is all along our big line of storms.
It was just after 5:30 Monday morning that severe storms raced through Little River County and southwest Arkansas, spawning a tornado. The twister flattened a house with a Witham family of 5 inside, killing the father of 3 and critically injuring the mother. The kid survived with just bumps and bruises.
We had a tornado come through and destroy part of one home, crossed over across the street and destroyed another home where a person was killed, father was killed, the mother had injuries, and the children, 3 children are now in the custody of their grandparents.
Their dad, Charles Witham, was a decorated Marine who served 2 tours of duty overseas, including Iraq. It was only the second tornado death in the county since 1950 and the first one in 32 years. The survey team from the National Weather Service in Shreveport assessed the damage.
Well, we've confirmed that it is a tornado that came through this area near Arden, which is in Little River County. It was associated with a squall line that moved through this area, and we had a little spin up here that produced, we think, an EF2 tornado.
The Lisenby's house was also hit by the tornado.
I've been in some strong winds, but nothing like this. I mean, it's a strange feeling when you feel the roof leave off your house.
Both were very thankful for their friends today.
Been a very humbling experience to know that we live in a place where people care. I'm thankful for that. We lost a home, but we have each other.
I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel, the Weather Channel, Ashdown, Arkansas.
We continue to track those storms as they push on to the east tonight.
And they're leaving scenes like this in their path. This woman was trapped in her car for a time in Monroe, Louisiana. You can see the crews trying to get her out. We'll talk about the cleanup coming up.
Apples are good. As Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Get up to 20% off and 1,000 rewards points at bestwestern.com with a swipe, a tap, or a click. Get up to 20% off and enjoy breakfast, free high-speed internet, and 1,000 rewards points. Only at bestwestern.com.
All right, we got one shot. Let's go twins right, 24 stretch.
24 stretch, all diamond. Twins right, 24 stretch. All diamonds on 2 ready.
When the game's on the line,
Hit them with a hard count.
See if they'll tip their hand.
the NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
They're blitzing up the gut.
Get out of the pocket.
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition.
This week on America's Morning Headquarters, going green sounds great, but can you do it and stay high tech? Gadget guru Jen Jolly shows us the tools we need to go eco and tech all the way. This week, starting at 7 on the biggest weather hour anywhere, America's Morning Headquarters, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms early, then partly cloudy after midnight. Low 77. Chance of rain 50%. Wednesday, thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American Supernatural, Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
There it is. This is where I met your grandpa. Right under this tree.
Some things are worth holding on to.
They're hugging the tree.
That's why we got a Subaru.
Was it that tree?
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Under the roof of a home or business, damage can happen. When it does, turn to the specialists who put help in the palm of your hand. The Ready App and emergency response plans from 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
Well, welcome back to Weather Center Live. You're looking at the rough weather that's made the last 36 hours dangerous and deadly across the southeast. Roofs were ripped off by a possible tornado in Monroe, Louisiana. Entire neighborhoods there are cleaning up right now. And a decorated Marine veteran was killed while he and his family sought shelter from a tornado in their Arkansas home. And in Georgia, strong storms rolled through the Atlanta area this morning, and more are firing up right now as you push into eastern Georgia, now pushing also into South Carolina. And before we take a look at those storms on radar, we also want to update you on the situation in areas who have already dealt with this deadly weather.
And as Paul mentioned, several states and communities are cleaning up while others are still bracing for storms on the way. Joining us right now live from North Carolina is WCNC reporter Dan Yezanowski. And Dan, thanks for joining us. I understand you're in Cleveland County, just to the west of Charlotte. You're seeing storms there right now?
Well, right now, guys, just some light rain. It's actually started to pick up a little bit over the last hour. This is in the town of Shelby, which is about an hour west of Charlotte in Cleveland County. We're going to show you this area of clouds over here. This is a good spot we picked because you can really kind of see over the horizon there. Looks fine right now, clear skies right now, but check out the video that was sent to us on Facebook to our chief meteorologist, Brad Panovich, around 2:30 this afternoon. We think it's a wall cloud. It looks like it may have touched down on the ground. You can kind of see it's got that funnel shape as it comes along there. But from the emergency management people we've talked with and fire departments that we've talked with, no reports of any kind of damage, no official reports that this was a tornado or anything like that. But still some intense video from a viewer. And looking at some of the radar coming from the Asheville area that we've seen on Twitter, we may be getting hit a little bit harder coming up over the next hour or so. So we'll be hunkering down here in Shelby and Cleveland County. But right now, just some light rain, no flooding or anything like that, guys. We'll send it back to you.
Dan Yezanowski from WCNC TV there just outside of Charlotte. We're still tracking those thunderstorms rolling across the southeast, including the Carolinas. With more, let's head to Kelly, who's tracking on the radar.
And Paul, we still can't rule out the possibility of tornado touchdowns, but again, the primary threat is going to be some very heavy rain and also those strong damaging winds as well. In fact, you can see the big picture showing the rain now well to the east of Atlanta. We're still tracking it as far north as Ohio and right along the coast. That's where the worst of the weather is right now. But we're watching Florida because you'll notice that Tampa, we got those reds and oranges showing up on the radar. That is some pouring rain and possibly some gusty winds blowing on through the bay. With that, as of right now, not reaching severe criteria, meaning the winds are just below that threshold of about 60 miles per hour. But still, lightning is your biggest hazard for now. You can see plenty of lightning lighting up the skies here between Clearwater and the Tampa area. And even just to the east of Tampa, we're still seeing some storms. And even as you head more east toward Lakeland, Florida. Here's a look at where we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. It does include Savannah, Georgia. Here's a stretch of I-95 cutting right through there. So again, this is where you could be seeing some damaging winds. We're talking Chatham, Effingham, also Jasper counties under a severe thunderstorm warning. That goes until 6 o'clock Eastern time. Hilton Head Island also in that warning, as well as Savannah. So I know these are places where a lot of people like to get outside and do some fun things, but unfortunately you really got to get inside right now because these storms are moving in from the west and moving in fairly quickly as well. And again, the rain is going to be very heavy, and that is certainly going to affect your travel plans up and down 95. Paul?
Oh, we track those storms pushing east tonight. We're also keeping a very close eye on the tropics. Hurricane Gonzalo pushed past Puerto Rico, moving north now, aiming at sites at Bermuda right now. Senior hurricane specialist Brian Norcross will have an update coming up next.
Apples are good. As Strongbow Hard Cider, better. but Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse? The bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
You pay your auto insurance premium every month on the dot. You're like the poster child for paying on time. And then one day, you tap the bumper of a station wagon. No big deal until your insurance company jacks up your rates. You freak out. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Hey, insurance companies, newsflash. Nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Remember the hassle of vacuuming before the Dyson DC-59 Motorhead? Before our direct drive cleaner head increased brush power to out-clean the 5 best-selling full-size vacuums across carpets and hard floors without the hassle of a cord.
Oh, no.
Who are you?
Daddy, this is Blair. He booked this room with Priceline Express deals and saved a ton.
I got everything I wanted. I always do. You seem nice.
Here's something fun to do with hot dogs. Make easy crescent dogs. Pillsbury crescent rolls.
Make dinner pop. See this? It shows the pressure points at my tired, achy feet.
I had no clue I was putting this kind of stress on my feet.
I have flat feet. I found this out at the free Dr. Scholl's Foot Mapping Center at Walmart. In less than 2 minutes, I got my foot map and my custom number. I'm a 440.
I'm a 210.
340.
That number matched the Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotic inserts with just the right support to help relieve stress on my feet. I'm a believer.
Go to drscholl's.com for locations and save $10.
Many Americans who have prescriptions fail to stay on them. That's why we created programs which encourage people to take their medications regularly. So join us as we raise a glass to everyone who remembered today. Bottoms up, America. See you tomorrow. Same time. Another innovation from CVS Health. Because health is everything.
Let's get weather geeky this morning. I'm going to kind of walk you through the life cycle steps of a tornado, including what first begins as a funnel cloud. As it gets organized, that funnel comes all the way down to the ground. You often then see debris.
Instead of mailing everyone my vacation photos, I'm saving a ton of time by posting them to my wall.
Ooh, I like that one.
It's so quick. It's just like my car insurance. I saved 15% in just 15 minutes.
I saved more than that in half the time.
I'd unfriend you.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
15 minutes for a quote isn't how it works anymore. With Esurance, 7.5 minutes could save you on car insurance. Welcome to the modern world. Esurance, backed by Allstate. Click or call.
If 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer, then it affects all of us. But together we can raise awareness, fund research, and fight for a cure. The end of breast cancer starts with you. Go to bcrfcure.org to find out more.
Brought to you locally by AutoNation South Florida dealers. AutoNation.com.
Live screenings for $149. Call now at 800-393-7147.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera. Oh my God! Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight. Wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight. Wednesday, thunderstorms, high 87. Chance of rain, 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It's 20 minutes after the hour. Coming up on your tropical update here. It's coming up on 20 minutes after the hour. This is your tropical update. Brian Norcross here in the lab at the Weather Channel. Lots going on in the tropics to talk about here. Let's get right to it. Here is Hurricane Gonzalo. It is strengthening today. As forecast has strengthened some more. It's heading in the direction of Bermuda. Here you see 115-mile-an-hour winds on the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Pressure really dropping down to 970 millibars. Remember, the lower the pressure, the stronger the storm in general, and moving to the northwest at 13 miles an hour, so just about the same as it has been, picking up just a little bit of speed. 770 miles south of Bermuda now, but it's not going directly there. You can see the direction it's moving on a due northwesterly track, and looks what happened yesterday, last evening, went right over Anguilla and St. Martin there, also went right over Antigua down there. That's the center. Now, the other thing to notice here on the satellite is that it's not a very big system, and we can prove that. It's very compact, and the good thing was that it was small enough that it really didn't have much effect on Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. But look at it right now. There you see the winds are quite light down here over the islands. The buoy that's the closest to it is running 34 miles an hour now, and that's about 70 miles away. So you can see that it has to come really close to Bermuda in order to get these stronger winds, which are over in here. The computer is coloring where it thinks the strongest winds are, but notice it's right in there is where the tropical storm force winds end. So they don't extend out very far from the system. Now, here's the forecast from the National Hurricane Center, and look at this. Up to on Thursday morning, they're forecasting 140-mile-an-hour Category 4 hurricane here. Now, for that to happen, this system is really going to have to organize itself. Now, small systems can intensify quickly and weaken quickly, so it certainly has that possibility, and they are forecasting that, and then weakening as it turns and heads towards Bermuda. But remember, it's fairly small, so if it were to be over here, Bermuda would not have much effect. It would have to come pretty close here to Bermuda to get those really strong winds, and estimated to be at about 115 miles an hour right into Bermuda, and then moving north and turning into just a pretty strong North Atlantic storm up here near Atlantic Canada. There's the wide view, and you clearly see Gonzalo right there, and this cold front that all of us in the east certainly know about is very prominent there, and the jet stream associated with pushing that cold front along is what's going to turn Gonzalo to the north, so no concern there for the east coast of the U.S. This is the other one we're really interested in over here, Tropical Storm Ana in the Pacific. It's up to 65 miles per hour now, and it is heading in the direction of Hawaii, intensifying, and then the theory is moving in the really near the islands, and we're going to break that down for you coming up on the Tropical Update at 50 after the hour. Back to you, Paul.
All right, thanks, Brian. Well, the last few days prove that it will be an October to remember across the South. Strong, deadly storms barreling east, and in some areas leaving behind a trail of destruction. And take a look at some of the damage left behind in Illinois when storms blew through here last night. Now, this is in Macon County, the central part of Illinois. Now, trees were snapped in half and debris was scattered in yards and streets as well. There were also reports of roofs being ripped off some homes in the area. Again, that was yesterday. What about right now? We're still tracking these thunderstorms as they move across the south and the southeast now, barreling across the Savannah River currently and into the low country of South Carolina. Severe thunderstorm warning going on here. A couple of counties here in Georgia, a few more over here in South Carolina. In South Carolina, we're talking about Jasper and Beaufort counties under severe thunderstorm warnings. In the Georgia side of the Savannah River, we have Chatham and Effingham counties under a severe thunderstorm warning. Watch out for strong, damaging winds with this line blasting right into Savannah right now. Now's the time not to go outside and look, but to stay away from the exterior walls and windows, and watch out for any trees that could be falling on that side of your house as well. And again, a lot of lightning out here. Do not wash the dishes or give the little ones a bath. Dangerous to do with all that lightning heading in your area. Kelly?
And with all the severe weather we had this week, of course, it's very important to get your warnings in a timely fashion, especially when you do have an overnight threat. Always have your weather radio good to go. Make sure you know how to use it. A lot of times you don't even need batteries. You can just wind it up and you're good to go with your NOAA weather radio warnings. And also you have the wind up flashlights will come in handy when you lose your power as well.
There's confidence.
And there's trusting your vehicle maintenance to Ford Service Confidence. Our expertise, technology, and high-quality parts mean your peace of mind. It's no wonder last year we sold over 3 million tires. And during the big tire event, get up to $140 in mail-in rebates on 4 select tires.
Gorilla Tape, of course. Gorilla Tape's double-thick adhesive grips rough and uneven surfaces for a strong, weather-resistant hold for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Apples are good, as Strongbow Hard Cider better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Here at High Acres, we always say, life is better on the farm. And that's because we love what we do, which is growing the best tasting fruit available. After months of nurturing, our orchards are bursting with crispy, delicious apples. And we can't wait for you to taste them. That's why we work with Walmart. They help us deliver some of the freshest apples available, backed by their 100% money-back guarantee.
Picked by farmers, guaranteed by us.
On my journey across America, I've learned that when you ask someone in Texas if they want big savings on car insurance, it's a bit like asking if they want a big hat. Excuse me. Or a big steak. Or big hair. I think we have our answer.
If I could separate the real from what happened, another day.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
She's still the one for you. And Cialis for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment is right. Cialis is also the only daily ED tablet approved to treat symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any allergic reactions like rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
Discover Card. Hey, so I'm looking at my bill and my FICO credit score is on here. We give you your FICO score each month for free. Awesome sauce. Wow. The only person I know that says that is Lisa. Julie?
At Discover, we treat you like you'd treat you. Get the IT card and see your FICO credit score.
Tonight. I bought 51% of this business. I now control you, and I can throw you out.
Marcus Lemonis does whatever it takes to fix a failing business.
I'm 100% in charge.
The Profit. All new episodes premiere tonight, 10 Eastern and Pacific, on the fastest growing network in prime time.
What I say goes.
CNBC.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 77. Chance of rain 50%. Wednesday, thunderstorms, high 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American Supernatural, Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
The possibility of some flash flooding, and look at that.
Yeah, our coverage of this on Weather Live will not stop until the deadly October severe weather outbreak is no longer a factor. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Paul Goodlow.
And I'm Kelly Cass. Our expert-driven coverage continues tonight as those storms continue pushing toward the east, right along the east coast. And in fact, we're still not done with the threat of tornadoes.
No, we have a tornado watch out for areas of Georgia, stretching into South Carolina, North Carolina, even Virginia. That goes until 10 o'clock tonight. And then we head to the low country of South Carolina, stretching into the Georgia coast and out to the Sea Islands, even down towards the Florida Space Coast. We have severe thunderstorm watches there from midnight and also till 7 o'clock, extending there into Florida, meaning we're still seeing severe weather.
And in the wake of the storms that have already happened, we're seeing thousands without power this evening. Alabama, 7,000 customers. Louisiana, more than 19,000. Georgia, 4,300. And North Carolina, 10,256 customers without power.
And that threat for severe storms is far from over.
Storm tracker Jim Cantori is in the lab tracking those storms as this October severe weather outbreak continues. And Jim, I think for a lot of folks, it's been a while since we had to go through something like this.
Yeah, spring, yeah. It really hasn't been big. However, though, some areas certainly a couple of weeks ago went through that serial derecho, Kelly. So that was a big night for places like Oklahoma, Dallas, if you remember, Arkansas, Louisiana, and even parts of Missouri and Tennessee. So here's what we got going on. Big full latitude trough here. In other words, it goes pretty much all the way from the Canadian border down into the Gulf of Mexico here. The good news is the energy is moving north as opposed to across the warm, moist air that is ever present today in Georgia, South and North Carolina points northward. So that's the big difference. The question, though, is tomorrow, what happens with this energy as it swings around and comes into this area where we have warm, moist air? So we're not done with this, and that's the bottom line, and that's what I want everybody to remember. Even though we may be getting a lull in the big action now, that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way for tomorrow. The area is already primed with deep moisture here, and with the cold front coming through, many of us, especially in the south, are really drying out. Yesterday, an incredibly humid day. It was what I call a day where you could almost wear the air you could wear, and that air is quickly moving out of Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, and that, of course, helps so much when you're trying to get power back on and helps those crews out big time. So not a huge difference. Obviously, it's raining there in Savannah and Atlanta, which is post-frontal. So what you really notice is the dry air, the dryness of the air. That's what really stands out, and that's what's going to continue to stand out. All right, a few issues we want to talk about. Again, ahead of the cold front, some storms developing right up there along I-85. If you're heading, again, out of Greenville, Spartanburg, southwest on I-85, you're going to run into those storms. Savannah is dealing with some storms as well. These are heading up toward Hilton Head and Charleston. And Tampa also dealing with some stormy weather as well as that cold front continues to charge toward the east. So really, the good news is, unlike yesterday when Sarah and myself were dealing with about 20 warnings out there. Most of them tornado, by the way. We have a much lighter day today, but that doesn't mean we're done with this event, and I want everyone to know that. All right, so a couple little waves here. We're watching work their way through Savannah and Hilton Head with that warning there, heading up again, and it's going to change quickly. Watch out if you're out there in Hilton Head. Get the golfers off the courses here. We know there's a lot of golf courses out through here, and a lot of people want to get that last hole in, but don't do that. Let's get you off the courses and let this lightning and thunder move through. Even if you don't get any severe weather as defined, the lightning can be even a worse threat than that. Jacksonville in the clear after 40 to 50 mile per hour winds, some trees down, and you can see all those wind reports. There is a 47 mile an hour gust at the Jacksonville International Airport that we had. A TV meteorologist receiving a report of trees down in the Oakleaf area. Also 42 mile per hour winds there measured at Jackson Naval Air Station. But remember, we don't have to have winds that are super strong here to produce even some trees down. So a lot of strikes here, especially from Savannah on out across the western part of the Atlantic. Most of them right now sitting right in the Savannah area. These are all heading up toward Hilton Head and eventually in toward Charleston. Down into Florida, Tampa, especially the Clearwater area, showers, thunderstorms with most of these again being sub-severe, but it's certainly going to slow you down out there. Mariners, obviously these are important storms for you. It doesn't take a strong wind to produce damage to your craft out there, and you don't want to be over the water with the kind of lightning that we have going on out and through here. That is definitely something you don't want to do. So let's put this in motion. Let's find out what happens tonight. Again, storms through central South Carolina coming up again through Savannah. This still looks slow, believe it or not, this RPM model. Yesterday, it couldn't keep up with the speed of this, but notice again as we get into tonight, we may have even a few more storms across northeastern South Carolina, even southern parts of North Carolina. It almost looks like this cold front starts to catch up with a warm, moist axis here by 2 o'clock in the morning. So do we have an overnight threat of severe weather? You bet we do. Watch out in central North Carolina and South Carolina because we're not out of the woods yet. And then tomorrow, that second little piece comes driving on north. As a matter of fact, the storms tonight may be the initiation of that, and these may go early and often and move all the way up into western parts of New York State. Wind and some hail and maybe even a tornado. So wind and tornadoes are going to be the first two things that we're going to be looking at here. All right, let's bring in Dr. Greg Forbes, our severe weather expert. This morning, some of us here near the Weather Channel were awoken by a line of thunderstorms and even a tornado warning. The National Weather Service has been out here. They've already confirmed 2 tornadoes. They're going to go out and do additional surveys here. But this is one of those situations where you really had to be looking at every little detail.
Yeah, you really did. And this was the time we don't normally expect it, 5 to 6 a.m. So a stormy morning across the Atlanta metro. I'm going to give you a progression of this. We had down in the East Point area confirmed EF0 tornado. If you look very carefully, there's a couple of little mini bow echoes here, wee little circulations in the line that are showing up here just as it's heading toward the East Point area. If I show you the velocities, you'll see them even better.
Oh, yeah.
There's one right here, the greens and the reds. There's another right in there. So those are heading up toward from just just west of the airport up toward the East Point area. I'll go one more time, step forward here, and
this is all on something we call a line echo wave, and this is where one of these tornadoes was to the west of the East Point area. They've already rated that EF0.
So there I've gone 5 minutes ahead, still the pair of those, and I'll go back to the normal way that we show the with the precipitation pattern, and you can really see there how we had one little curly Q, a second one. This one's getting a little bit bigger, and as the time progresses, I'll try to step this forward here, and we'll see that the storms then hit. Whoops, I keep hitting the wrong button there. Let me get back to where I was.
All right, so we know we got these storms down around the East Point area that really transitioned pretty quickly this morning. A lot of wind. No tornado warning, too, at this point. So the rotation, at least from the criteria, the Weather Service wasn't strong enough to issue them, even though we're certainly seeing the rotation, and they were watching it down there. I know that.
And if you're following along here, I'm stepping forward then. The storms came up, and we began to get one big, broad bow echo that is in here, but then a second one takes over. Here is Vinings. We had some trees down, maybe a possible tornado coming into the Vinings area, and if I slide that one along
But what's really interesting about this, Greg, is we transition from really the east side here, where all the action was through East Point, to this kind of west comm ahead, which is upside down.
Yeah, it definitely is transitioning. And then it comes up across my house. No, I didn't see any damage right about in there. Now we're up around the Roswell area, heading toward the north side of the Atlanta area. And right about at this point, we really, inside that big calm ahead, begin to get some intensified circulation showing up right about here as it heads toward Alpharetta, where there was an EF1 tornado. And let me show you the velocities showing up in here. It's beginning to rotate a little bit. We go a little bit more, and then we get a strong rotation right about in here. That one, 5 minutes later, we begin to get a tornado debris signature up around the Alpharetta area.
All right, 2 tornadoes, possibly more, in the Atlanta area this morning. We'll be right back.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 77. Chance of rain, 50%. Wednesday, thunderstorms, high 87. Chance of rain, 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Here's a new trick for the same old dinner. Try Unsloppy Joe's. Pillsbury Grand's Biscuits.
Make dinner pop.
How did I set a new personal record today? I started with a test run. Then I got a solid night's rest in a great room. And before I hit the road, I hit the breakfast bar, where I got my fuel for the next 26 miles.
Great endings begin here. That's why at Choice Hotels, we give you cozy rooms, free breakfast, and right now when you take 2 separate trips, you earn 1 night free. Book now at choicehotels.com.
Started my Camry. Drove to her wedding. Did not forever hold my peace. The bold new Camry. One bold choice leads to another. Toyota, let's go places.
Hands were made for talking. Feet, tiptoeing. Better things than the pain, stiffness, and joint damage of moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis. Before you and your rheumatologist decide on a biologic, ask if Xeljanz is right for you. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a small pill, not an injection or infusion, for adults with moderate to severe RA for whom methotrexate did not work well. Xeljanz can relieve RA symptoms and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers have happened in patients taking Xeljanz. Don't start Xeljanz if you have any infection, unless okay with your doctor. Tears in the stomach or intestines, low blood cell counts, and higher liver tests and cholesterol levels have happened. Your doctor should perform blood tests before you start and while taking Xeljanz, and routinely check certain liver tests. Tell your doctor if you have been to a region where fungal infections are common, and if you have had TB, hepatitis B or C, or are prone to infections. Tell your doctor about all the medicines you take. 1 pill, twice daily. Xeljanz can reduce RA pain and help stop further joint damage, even without methotrexate. Ask about Xeljanz.
From restoring damage in just one room to an entire building, turn to the cleanup team that's here in your community and here to help at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
Okay, Patrick, one more stop. Let's go base, shark, blitz. Base, shark, blitz.
When the game's on the line.
Okay, this is for the game.
The NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
Flag 19's on! Abort, he's keeping it!
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Hi, everyone. 42 past the hour. We are still tracking severe storms heading toward the East Coast right now. In fact, right along the east coast of Georgia and South Carolina, we have an active severe thunderstorm warning right here. Watch out for damaging winds, very frequent lightning. In fact, we're getting reports of lightning that actually hit trees and caused those trees to come down on the road here in Liberty County. So we've Effingham and also Jasper counties still under a severe thunderstorm warning. It goes until 6 o'clock Eastern time, and you can see the storms are right over you in Savannah, Georgia right now, and traveling up northward into South Carolina. Still plenty of lightning with these storms working their way towards Hilton Head Island as well, so heads up on that. As we take it down to Florida, we're seeing a line of storms moving right into the Tampa Bay area right now. Not severe at this moment, but still some very heavy rain. Also, the lightning is a danger with these storms as well that are rolling across the North Bay, especially over towards Clearwater and over into the Tampa area. We're starting to see some lightning bolts kind of away from the main thunderstorm. So that just goes to show you, if you hear thunder, you're close enough to be hit by lightning. Here's a look at the model as we track this all out for you. As we go through the evening hours, you'll notice that Charlotte not done with the storm threat yet. We've got more to come late tonight into tomorrow morning around the Roanoke, Virginia area, Richmond, right on down toward the Outer Banks of North Carolina by the time we get into tomorrow afternoon. And then finally, we can say goodbye to this system. It's been around for quite a few days now, Paul.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Well, storms and air travel don't mix well, but here's the good news. Despite the weather today, airport delays really haven't been too bad. Although Chicago and Atlanta, you delayed about 50 flights in the last few hours, but that's not nearly as bad a number considering all the stormy weather we had up and down the nation today. Take a look at some of the current delays here. Charlotte, even though we have rain showers and storms coming through, as Kelly just mentioned, we're not quite done, seeing another round later on tonight. And you can see the outbound planes are in the blue, the inbound are in the red. They're all landing and taking off from the north to the south because the strong southerly winds coming in as well. Now tomorrow might be another story as this entire system is pushing eastward. We're going to see the flight delay threat continue also to push eastward as well. So Charlotte, looking like you're clear tomorrow. Really, overnight's your problem. Meanwhile, Raleigh, D.C., the Philly airport could also see some delays. Best chance, though, in the airports around D.C. Reagan National, Dulles, and BWI could see delays with storms coming through. Kelly?
All right, Paul, it is time for our top 5 videos of the day, and it's all about the severe weather that we've experienced over the past couple of days. Supercell thunderstorms. We've had tornado reports and plenty of wind damage reports as well. Here we are in West Point, Mississippi last night as the storm was bringing in a rotating wall cloud, and we had some hail with this storm as well, but it almost looks like a spaceship off there in the distance.
Yep, and you get closer, there goes the rain. Next comes the wind. All right, to number 4 here, and we have a possible tornado that formed between Corinth, Mississippi and Selmer, Tennessee last night. And this video is the funnel cloud from several different angles as it continues to lower on the horizon there.
Yeah, it's hard to see exactly as, all the way down the ground or not, but certainly a funnel if it's elevated. If it's a tornado, it's all the way down. And
often, sometimes you don't actually see it on the ground, but you still have the winds on the ground.
Right.
So, yeah, don't be fooled by just seeing a funnel cloud.
All right, number 3, showing some of the damage here in Monroe, Louisiana. Widespread damage to homes and businesses like this Red Roof Hotel, or the roof, I think, came off the hotel.
Yeah, the Red Roof is roofless right now because of storms that blew on through there. And also, you see, taking down a lot of other signs as well as trees because of the strong, damaging winds. Number 2 we go, and storm chasers captured this. Yeah, almost an ongoing lightning display of the sky here above Hamilton, Alabama.
Hamilton's about 90 miles northwest of Birmingham, and we saw quite a few storms roll through. We had, those cells that developed out ahead of that main squall line, so it was a busy day for storms.
In fact, busy morning even for Alabama. Cold front's through now. Things are quiet for you.
Number 1. Hear the thunder, the pouring rain. This is Magnolia, Arkansas yesterday, and that's in the southwestern part of the state. We did see quite a bit of damage across Arkansas, and unfortunately, this is also where we had 1 death from a tornado that touched down.
Yeah, a lot of rain coming down, even with those strong winds and very dark skies in the middle of the day. Hey, if you get great video, make sure you're safe, first of all, and also if you have the aftermath of weather, we can see it anytime. Just upload it to us at weather.com/photos.
Well, it has gotten very busy in the tropics. We've got your complete tropical update next.
Apples are good. As Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this.
Danger.
You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are Farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Call 1-800-FARMERS and see how much you could save.
You're going to want to watch 7 a.m. on AMHQ.
This is a big weather morning.
The biggest weather hour anywhere. What you watch in the morning matters.
Is your weather geeky this morning?
Make AMHQ your morning show. America's morning headquarters. Weekday mornings starting live at 7 Eastern on the Weather Channel.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American Supernatural. Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 77. Chance of rain 50%. Wednesday, thunderstorms, high 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Alaska. It's the place you've always dreamed of, where the ordinary is simply extraordinary, and the views, like your memories, go on forever. When was the last time a vacation took your breath away? Alaska. Begin your adventure at AlaskaBeyondYourDreams.com.
Maybe you didn't know, people with the flu can spread it up to 6 feet away. Or that flu can make chronic conditions worse. Maybe you didn't know any of the stuff your Rite Aid pharmacist knows. But now that you've gotten your flu shot at Rite Aid, maybe you don't need to.
From residential to commercial, from large loss to emergency response. Whenever damage strikes, call on the cleanup team that's faster to any size disaster at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
I can do anything.
The bed reacts to your body. It hugs you.
It's really cool to the touch. The zip's off so I can wash it. Yes, please.
Visit your local retailer and feel the Tempur-Pedic difference for yourself.
When he first joined the Army, I was very nervous.
We didn't know what they would have him doing. But Bobby always had a plan.
With unmatched training in over 150...
PCmatic won first place in the Virus Bulletin Rap Test, the most prestigious security competition in the world. PCmatic from the United States outperformed all its foreign competition. This victory is independent, third-party validation that PCmatic is the best at blocking viruses and keeping your computers safe from modern threats like CryptoLocker. At $50 for 5 computers for 1 year, PCmatic is a great value, but PCmatic is much more. PCmatic makes your computers faster and more reliable even after years of use. PCmatic supports Windows XP, keeping it secure and running as good as the day you bought it. PCmatic has a full, no questions asked 30-day money-back guarantee. And PCmatic is supported by Americans whose first language is English. To get top-rated, world-class security that also keeps your computers running great, go to PCmatic.com. That's PCmatic.com.
1000. Ready for a new breed of broker? There's a name for people like you. Trade King. Switch today.
Every Monday night this fall.
What is it that produces these things?
The Weather Channel unlocks the secrets of the Earth. An all-new season starts Monday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
It's 53 minutes after the hour. Brian Norcross here in the lab at the Weather Channel with your tropical update and lots of activity in the tropics to talk about. Let's get right to Hurricane Gonzalo that passed by the Leeward Islands or right over the northern Leeward Islands yesterday, now north of Puerto Rico, and the weather has cleared out in the islands, so no problems there, but the storm has intensified today. Thankfully, this did not happen yesterday when it was over the islands there. 115 miles per hour now is the estimate from the National Hurricane Center based on the hurricane hunters that have been out investigating all day today. 970 millibars, so the pressure continues to drop. Another sign of intensification as it moves to the northwest at 13. You see here 770 miles south of Bermuda now, but it actually, because it's going to make a curve before it heads in the direction of the island, it actually has farther to go than 770 miles. Let's look at the satellite close up here, and you see a couple things. First of all, notice the eye. We see a little bit of the eye sticking out there. The eye is actually a little bigger, and part of it's still cloud covered there. So that means it still could get better looking, stronger looking, and that is expected. We're also seeing this air flowing out in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and that indeed is a sign that the atmosphere is ripe for intensification. Also, go back and look at the track down here. It went right over top of Antigua there, and St. Martin and Anguilla, right directly over top of those, the National Hurricane Center track. So that all happened yesterday in a much weaker version, obviously, of this storm. And close up, we have a close-up look. The thing I wanted you to see there is the size of the core. So keep in mind that's a relatively small size of the core, because that's going to be important when we talk about it getting near Bermuda here. Because look at the intensification the Hurricane Center is forecasting up to a Category 4 storm on Thursday here, and then the weakening trend begins as the upper level winds perhaps become somewhat less favorable for intensification or more favorable for weakening. So the thinking is still a strong storm in the vicinity of Bermuda, but remember we talked about how small this was. So if it were to go over there, Bermuda would just have a passing wind and no big deal. It would have to come pretty close in this cone, tracks really quite close to Bermuda to really get these intense winds, most intense winds. There's a small storm and a big wide cone at this point, so a lot of possibilities for the storm to pass by, but we can't rule out a very strong hurricane just 1 week after Faye went by there just last weekend. Then on up to the north, and it loses its tropical characteristics and becomes a strong North Atlantic storm in the vicinity of Newfoundland late in the weekend is the thinking right now. Here's the water vapor now, and the two things that really stand out. One, of course, is the hurricane right down here. The other is this big dip in the jet stream that's causing the severe weather and has caused the severe weather in the east. There's that jet stream dip there. Now, if we look at where the model is showing this all going, here we are here this afternoon. Now let's go into the future and watch Gonzalo move to the north and watch the jet stream move to the north. That's why the east coast of the U.S. is protected. But here's the big question in terms of the strength of the hurricane when it's at its nearest point to Bermuda. How close is this jet stream dip going to come? Is it going to come just close enough to steer it, and in other words, be far enough away that the hurricane only slightly feels it and weakens, but is still quite strong? Or is it really going to put strong winds over top of the hurricane here and weaken it more quickly as it gets near Bermuda? That's still a big question mark, exactly how strong the storm will be when it's in the general vicinity of Bermuda. All right, there's more in the tropics to talk about. First of all, in the Atlantic, the invest out here is actually looking a little stronger today, but it's going to move up to the north and not be a threat. There's an an invest here right near the Central America, and that one looks like it's going to move into Mexico and not strengthen, but we'll watch that. They are over Central America or the southern Bay of Campeche there in the Gulf of Mexico. We'll just keep an eye on that. It's going to take a long time to happen. And this is the real interesting one over here, Tropical Storm Ana, that is heading in the general direction of Hawaii. Here you see it now as of the latest advisory from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center, a 65-mile-an-hour tropical storm, but intensifying as the pressure is estimated to be dropping. No hurricane hunters out here right now, so it's still moving to the west-northwest there. And there it is. It's an impressive-looking storm, and we're going to watch this as it moves over the warm water in the direction of the Hawaiian Islands. All right, back with Jim Cantori and more tropics coming up in just a few minutes.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 77. Chance of rain 50%. Wednesday, thunderstorms, high 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So still a severe thunderstorm warning, and they are also looking at the possibility of some flash flooding. And look at that. That was right on top of me. maybe we want to get inside. We'll talk to you guys in just a bit.
Just a reminder of the danger. Yeah, don't worry. Dave Malkoff did get into shelter right after that happened. Nearly 24 hours ago, Dave Malkoff was taking cover as strong, dangerous storms rolled through Nashville. Tonight, the threat is pushing east, and we still have several new areas to watch. From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're still watching Weather Center Live. And it has been very busy these past few days here at the Weather Channel. Quite an impressive few days we've been seeing during this October severe weather outbreak. I'm Kelly Cass.
And I'm Paula Goodlow. Well, right now, a state of emergency in Louisiana. Tens of thousands of people still without power. Unfortunately, 2 deaths, and it's not over by far. Take a look at the areas we're watching right now for the potential for more severe weather. In the red, that's a tornado watch. Areas of Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia going till 10 o'clock tonight. And into the low country of South Carolina around the Savannah, Georgia area. Your severe thunderstorm watch goes until midnight, extending to the Sea Islands there. And then on towards Amelia Island and the Jacksonville area, your severe thunderstorm watch goes until 7 o'clock tonight.
And we want to head out to the lab now, and our storm tracker Jim Cantori, who was tracking all the severe weather last night, joins us again tonight because that severe threat not done yet. But Jim, boy, this system had some staying power.
It did. I mean, we watched this stuff, the night before last, west of Dallas, Oklahoma, Dallas, all the way through Louisiana. West Monroe, as we know, got pounded, and then all the stuff, again, Tennessee, all the way up in Illinois, where we had several tornadoes reported, and we still are getting all those counted up today. Forbes has got 13 confirmed so far, 23 unconfirmed at this point. So that's the current status on that. And there could be, as he said to me earlier, maybe as much as 35 to 40 from yesterday, from this outbreak, which is kind of amazing. Let's talk about it. Going through the time here with this outbreak. This is Sunday night, remember. Then boom, through Dallas early in the morning. All day yesterday, all afternoon. There's 4 o'clock. We started to see these discrete supercells developing here ahead of the main line. We also saw this north-south band that developed, and this is where the wind damage came into Alabama. All of a sudden, we got 30,000 people without power. That was from this thing before the main line even got here, and we were watching that to move on across. Pretty much what started these little lone supercells out ahead of this is the fact that you have low-level winds coming out of the southeast. Our upper-level winds were out of the southwest, so just enough turning with height there in the low levels to cause those storms to rotate. We had massive shear yesterday. Instability wasn't super high, but it was high enough. And then, of course, this morning, the little episode that we had in and around Atlanta. Last 24 hours looking like this. We watched those tornadoes down there in Franklin County. A lot of those were only seen by the dual pole radar, and we had one little lone tornado to the northwest of Nashville. That's up around the Clarksville area, excuse me. And you know what? There may be some new tornadoes added in Atlanta, maybe as many as 3, believe it or not. Weather Service, the National Weather Service in Peachtree City is out there looking at that now. So here are the wind reports, and as you can see, there have been many, many wind reports, over 300 in the last 24 hours. So big, full latitude trough in through here, going across the whole United States. The good news is today we're watching those upper level winds go from south to north here versus cutting across the warm, moist air here, or we'd have a whole different animal in our hands. Now, we'll see what happens with this upper air energy. It's kind of a little piece that's kind of rotating around the back edge of our low. When that turns and starts to make its way up through the mid-Atlantic region, we could have a whole new ignition of those storms. Will that be tonight, in the middle of the night? Potentially. South Carolina, and then it's going to ripple up through D.C., ripple up through western Pennsylvania. Again, not the same animal as we had yesterday. Our instability is going to be down, and our shear profile is not going to look as good as it did. Here's the visible image again, looking at this massive cyclone in the central part of the United States, right in through here. Yesterday, it was sitting right over Kansas City. Look at how the upper clouds here have moved to the north, leaving behind these low clouds. Here's the cold advection, the stratocumulus clouds behind us in through here. Of course, all the unstable air, the tropical air, is on the eastern side of this. So all this air, guys, pretty much from the Appalachians on east, needs to get squeezed out in the form of showers and thunderstorms, and that's going to be happening over the next 24 to 36 hours. Until then, we can't let our guards down yet. But all in all, not like what we had yesterday. Kelly and Paul, back to you.
All right, Jim, thanks so much. In fact, 2 people were killed when storms tore through the South yesterday, one in Arkansas, the other in Alabama.
And in Arkansas, 3 children are now without their father, killed when their home was hit by an EF2 tornado. Meteorologist Mike Seidel has more.
It's occurring, and this is all along our big line of storms.
It was just after 5:30 Monday morning that severe storms raced through Little River County and southwest Arkansas, spawning a tornado. The twister flattened a house with a Witham family of 5 inside, killing the father of 3 and critically injuring the mother. The kid survived with just bumps and bruises.
We had a tornado come through and destroy part of one home, crossed over across the street and destroyed another home where a person was killed, father was killed, the mother had injuries, and the children, 3 children are now in the custody of their grandparents.
Their dad, Charles Witham, was a decorated Marine who served 2 tours of duty overseas, including Iraq. It was only the second tornado death in the county since 1950 and the first one in 32 years. The survey team from the National Weather Service in Shreveport assessed the damage.
Well, we've confirmed that it is a tornado that came through this area near Arden, which is in Little River County. It was associated with a squall line that moved through this area, and we had a little spin up here that produced, we think, an EF2 tornado.
The Lisenby's house was also hit by the tornado.
I've been in some strong winds, but nothing like this. I mean, it's a strange feeling when you feel the roof leave off your house.
Both were very thankful for their friends today.
Been a very humbling experience to know that we live in a place where people care. I'm thankful for that. We lost a home, but we have each other.
I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel, the Weather Channel, Ashdown, Arkansas.
All right, thanks, Michael. Right now, we're still tracking those thunderstorms as they continue to push east right now.
And leaving a mess. Take a look at this scene. A woman trapped in her car for a time in Monroe, Louisiana. You can see the crews assisting her. That community especially hard hit. The Salvation Army is offering cleanup kits for residents in need.
This is our new turkey cranberry flatbread before we craft it into a sandwich. The amazingly tender roasted turkey, always raised without antibiotics. The zesty cranberry mostarda. The freshly baked flatbread. But here's what you don't always see. The care and attention that goes into it. Because what matters most is the simple, delicious ingredients that make up the whole delicious meal made just for you. And this is our turkey cranberry flatbread sandwich paired perfectly with our autumn squash soup. Only at Panera Bread.
It's a great... Brighten up your rainy day with a flatbread sandwich and soup from Panera.
Need brakes? Pep Boys has the best brake service at the best price. Right now, get $50 off instantly on Precision Match brake service exclusively at Pep Boys. That's $50 off instantly. Trust the boys to get you there.
Here at High Acres, we always say life is better on the farm. And that's because we love what we do, which is growing the best tasting fruit available. After months of nurturing, our orchards are bursting with crispy, delicious apples. And we can't wait for you to taste them. That's why we work with Walmart. They help us deliver some of the freshest apples available, backed by their 100% money-back guarantee.
Picked by farmers, guaranteed by us.
You're going to want to watch 7 a.m. on AMHQ.
This is a big weather morning.
The biggest weather hour anywhere. What you watch in the morning matters.
It's your weather geeky this morning.
Make AMHQ your morning show. America's morning headquarters. Weekday mornings starting live at 7 Eastern on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 77. Chance of rain, 50%. Wednesday, thunderstorms, high 87. Chance of rain, 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday, a new tale of weather legend. American supernatural nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Listen up, Thunder Dragons. It's time to get a hotel.
Hey, Razor, check this out. We can save big with Priceline Express deals.
You know what, man? These guys ain't no dragons.
They're cool. These deals are legit.
Yeah, we're cool.
She's cool. We're cool.
I got one shot. Let's go twins right, 24 stretch.
24 stretch, all diamond. Twins right, 24 stretch. All diamonds on touring.
When the game's on the line,
Hit him with a hard count. See if they'll tip their hand.
the NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
They're blitzing up the gut. Get out of the pocket.
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition.
Yeah, I'm married. Does it matter? You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so.
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
Apples are good. As Strongbow Hard Cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live, and you're looking at the rough weather that's made the last 36 hours dangerous and deadly across the south and southeast. Roofs are ripped off by a possible tornado here in Monroe, Louisiana, and entire neighborhoods there are cleaning up still. And a decorated Marine veteran was killed while he and his family sought shelter from a tornado in the Arkansas home. And in Georgia, strong storms moved through the Atlanta area this morning, and more are firing up right now as you pass by Savannah and push into Hilton Head, South Carolina. Well, we're definitely taking a look at those storms on the radar coming up in just a few minutes.
But first, we want to get an update from one of the states that's really cleaning up a lot right now. Joining us now on the phone is Mike Steele, the communications director with the Louisiana Department of Emergency Management. And Mike, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having us on. We appreciate it.
I understand your state is under a state of emergency right now. What have you guys been dealing with over the last 24 hours?
Well, the storm came through, relatively quickly, but it hit just about every region of the state yesterday. Power outages and a lot of trees and limbs down are kind of the biggest problems we're dealing with at the moment.
And in terms of power being out, any estimate of when all the residents will have their power restored?
Well, I know earlier today they were still looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 30,000 people without power, and so it's going to probably take several days from what the power companies are telling us. They're looking at Friday, possibly having everyone back up and running. Governor Bobby Jindal and our director, Kevin Davis, the director of the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, they traveled up to Monroe today and met with some of the local officials in the Monroe area and also toured the region, kind of getting a first-hand look at the damage. So far, the state's only been asked to help with some debris removal, but there's also going to be some assessment teams going out starting later this week and taking a look at what can be done if there's any federal assistance, that type of thing available.
And Mike, speaking of assistance, what can residents do if they need assistance? Where should they go? Who should they call?
Well, for the people in the northeast corner of the state, they're asked to call the 211 information line to help. A lot of the local agencies up there have consolidated their efforts, and that's where they're hoping everyone will turn to. Also, the University of Louisiana at Monroe, they were closed again today because of storm damage, and they're going to be opening back up. Classes will resume by 7:30 tomorrow morning, so we're getting a little good news this evening.
All right, thank you very much. That is Mike Steele with Louisiana Emergency Management. Kelly?
And the good news is we're looking at drier air coming in behind this system. Places like Monroe, Louisiana, much cooler air coming in behind it as well. But you will notice where we still have the rough conditions right along the southeast coast, pouring rain out there. And at times we are seeing some severe storms as well. In fact, just a little while ago, we did have a severe thunderstorm warning, which included Savannah and Hilton Head Island. But that warning has been dropped. As you can see, the worst of the weather is now passing through Hilton Head Island as we speak. And you can still see Interstate 95 being impacted by the very heavy rain and quite the light show. A lot of lightning out there, very frequent. And in fact, we did have reports in Liberty County, Georgia, of lightning hitting trees and causing those trees to come down on roads as well. So it's not just strong winds that can bring down the trees, but also the lightning strikes. Here's a look at Asheville, North Carolina, right on down towards Greenville. You'll notice that we do have some pockets of heavier rain working their way in. Fortunately, not severe at this time, but again, there will be that chance we could see not just damaging winds, but also a spin up of a brief tornado as the tornado threat is diminishing, but we still can't rule it out completely. Showers moving toward the Outer Banks as we go into tomorrow afternoon, but again, in its wake, we will be looking at much cooler air and less humid air moving in as well. Paul?
And while we track those strong thunderstorms pushing east tonight, we're also keeping a very close eye on the tropics. Hurricane Gonzalo has pushed past Puerto Rico, moving north, aiming at Bermuda right now. Our senior hurricane specialist, Brian Norcross, is next with a complete tropical update.
At Ancestry, we call it a hint. Our little leaf that helps guide you through the past. Simply type in a name, and you're taken on a journey. A journey that crosses generations and continents, all to tell the most amazing story. Yours. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
Maybe you didn't know, people with the flu can spread it up to 6 feet away. Or that flu can make chronic conditions worse. Maybe you didn't know any of the stuff your Rite Aid pharmacist knows. But now that you've gotten your flu shot at Rite Aid, maybe you don't need to.
You drop 40 grand on a new set of wheels, then wham, a minivan T-bones you. Guess what? Your insurance company will only give you $37,000 to replace it. Depreciation, they claim. How can my car depreciate before its first oil change, you ask? Maybe the better question is, why do you have that insurance company?
With Liberty Mutual New Car Replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Apples are good. As Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
We put all the apps you love inside a car designed to connect you to a world of possibilities. The Connected Car by Volvo. Innovating for you.
Tonight.
I bought 51% of this business. I now control you, and I can throw you out.
Marcus Lemonis does whatever it takes to fix a failing business.
I'm 100% in charge.
The Prophet, all new.
As a mother of two, it's really hard to work at home. When I really need to get stuff done, I hide in the laundry room. No one ever goes in there.
A lawyer that's a monkey.
Also, the dryer sheets really help my writing. Writing supplies, number 7 of my 20.
The MX Everyday Credit Card with no annual fee.
Thank you.
Make 20 or more purchases in a monthly billing period and earn 20% more rewards. It's membership that rewards you for the things you already buy every day. What's your 20?
The Conference Call, the ultimate arena for business. Hour after hour of diving deep, touching base, and putting ducks in rows. The only problem with conference calls, eventually they have to end. Unless you have the Comcast Business Voice Edge mobile app. It lets you switch seamlessly from your desk phone to your mobile with no interruptions. I've never felt so alive.
Get the future of phone, and the phones are free. Comcast Business, built for business.
Is going to make you, as a business owner, more successful just right off the bat.
Vistaprint.com. If you miss this Sunday night on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, every Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. tonight. Wednesday, thunderstorms, high 87. Chance of rain, 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It's coming up on 20 minutes after the hour. It's time for your tropical update. Brian Norcross here in the lab at the Weather Channel and watching an intensifying hurricane just north of Puerto Rico heading in the direction of Bermuda, and also an intensifying storm in the Pacific heading in the direction of Hawaii. So let's get first of all to Gonzalo. Hurricane Gonzalo up to a Category 3 hurricane today. Here's the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center. 115 mile per hour winds as hurricane hunters have been out there all day, flying through it, checking out and measuring the wind speeds and the pressure there, and they found about 970 millibars, and that number has gone down all day, indicating a strengthening system moving to the northwest at 770 miles south of Bermuda right now. And we can see when we look at this on the computer analysis of the wind that the winds not too far away, look at it here in San Juan and these buoys down here, are quite light. Matter of fact, if we zoom in here, we can see that this buoy about 70 miles away from the center is only at 31 miles per hour. And look at the colors here. This is the computer analysis of winds about 35 miles per hour. That's where the colors change there. And then the most intense, see the reds right in there? And if the storm is moving this way in the northeast quadrant, that's where the computer analyzes the strongest winds. So it's really a corridor about like that would have to intersect with Bermuda. So it's a fairly small corridor, only about 40 or 50 miles from the center, that would have to really, where the really strong winds are, and the super strong winds are even closer to the center than that. So here's the National Hurricane Center forecast for this intensification, and look at this. They're showing it up into Category 4 territory, solid Category 4 territory, estimating 140 miles per hour here on Thursday. Now, none of the computer guidance actually takes it that high, but it's a small system, and small systems can ramp up really quickly, higher than the computer guidance, and they can weaken quickly as well. And the thinking is that once this heads up toward Bermuda, it will indeed weaken and be in a weakening phase, but still could be quite strong in the vicinity of Bermuda. But remember, we talked about how small it was, so it has to come pretty close here in order to get the strongest winds in Bermuda. They'll know there's a system going by, but the strongest winds are a really, really small diameter system as what's expected here. But if it really is up into Category 3 strength, it can come moderately close. Then it's going to move on north, and our friends in Newfoundland may deal with a kind of a non-tropical version of this thing. Pretty good storm up that way is possible. Here's the wide view. There you see Gonzalo sticking out here on our streamlines. And look at this line here. What's that? Well, that's the cold front that has moved through a good part of the south now, and the upper level jet stream dip that's driving that cold front is what's going to steer this thing to the north. So exactly how those interact has got to do with how the angle is. Now, none of these other systems here, these two invests, are really important right now, but this one, Tropical Storm Ana, is in the Pacific. It's a 65-mile-an-hour tropical storm now. But here's the important part. The thinking is that it is going to intensify over fairly warm water heading toward Hawaii, so that late in the week, it's in the vicinity of the Hawaiian Islands. Now, if it goes down here, it won't really notice much, and it would really have to come up on a track, something like that, to have a really significant effect. So most of the tracks don't have a big effect in Hawaii, but yet again, a bizarre storm heading right toward the Hawaiian Islands. All right, back with more at 50 after the hour. Paul, back to you.
All right, thanks, Brian. Well, right now, the last few days of October definitely will be a October to remember across the South. Strong, deadly storms barreling east, and in some areas leaving behind quite a trail of destruction. In fact, take a look at some of the damage left behind in Illinois when storms blew through here last night. Yeah, trees snapped over. By the way, this is Macon County in the central part of that state. The trees snapped over, debris scattered for miles across the area, across the streets as well. The good news is there were no reports of any serious injuries there, but a roof was ripped off many homes in the area. Right now, we're still tracking thunderstorms. We're pressing out of Atlanta, pushing through eastern Georgia, but also pushing into areas of South Carolina and North Carolina right now. And some very heavy rain has been falling. We're talking Greenville, Pickens, Transylvania counties, all under flash flood warnings, meaning flooding is ongoing in this area, and there's more rain coming in. And several areas across the southeast already picked up between 2 and 4 inches of rain just today alone.
When he first joined the Army, I was very nervous.
We didn't know what they would have him doing. But Bobby always had a plan.
With unmatched training in over 150 careers beyond the battlefield, there are over 150 surprising ways to become Army strong. Talk to your son or daughter about opportunities in the Army.
Under the roof of a home or business, damage can happen. When it does, turn to the specialists who put help in the palm of your hand. The Ready App and emergency response plans from 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
On my journey across America, I've learned that when you ask someone in Texas if they want big savings on car insurance, it's a bit like asking if they want a big hat. Excuse me. Or a big steak. Or big hair. I think we have our answer.
If I could separate what's real from what happened, maybe fight another day.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
We used to have so many empty rolls.
Huh?
It felt like we were flushing money away.
Mom!
That's why we switched to Charmin Ultra Mega Roll. It's Charmin quality and long-lasting. With more goes per roll, it pays to use Charmin Ultra Mega Roll.
Charmin Ultra Mega Roll is 75% more absorbent, so you can use less with every go. Plus, it even lasts longer than the leading 1000 sheet brand.
For us, Mega Roll equals mega value. Cha-ching! We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin Ultra Mega Roll?
Apples are good. As Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
You can search hotel sites for so long that your hair goes out of style. Or use Kayak to search hundreds of hotel sites to find the best deal in seconds. Kayak. Search one and done.
Night, Ted.
Night.
Remember when your trunk wasn't smart enough to open for you? When only your living room had HD?
Hi, babe.
You're not going to make it, are you?
And a little weather could ruin your plans.
Come on. Have I ever let you down?
Well...
Don't answer that.
The all-new Genesis with H-Track all-wheel drive from Hyundai.
This week on America's Morning Headquarters, going green sounds great, but can you do it and stay high-tech? Gadget guru Jen Jolly shows us the tools we need to go eco and tech all the way. This week, starting at 7 on the biggest weather hour anywhere, America's Morning Headquarters, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 77. Chance of rain, 50%. Wednesday, thunderstorms, high 87. Chance of rain, 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
weeknight. Wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
I woke up from a day of sleep to sound like a freight train running in your backyard.
Well, our coverage on WeatherStar Live will not stop until the deadly October severe weather outbreak is no longer a factor. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Paul Goodlow.
And I'm Kelly Cass. Our expert-driven coverage continues tonight as storms continue pushing toward the east, but thankfully not as really strong as they were yesterday. But still, we can't rule out the possibility of tornadoes in that area shaded in red. That's where we have an active tornado watch in effect until 10 o'clock Eastern. Parts of Georgia, we've got North and South Carolina, even southwestern Virginia.
And also, these storms already have a history of producing damage. Check out some of the power outage numbers we have right now. In the state of Alabama, 7,000 customers without power. Louisiana, over 16,000. Nearly 3,000 in Georgia and close to 9,000 in North Carolina. And there are more storms rolling through North Carolina as we head through the next couple hours and also into the overnight. And that threat continues to push on east.
That's right. Our storm tracker Jim Cantori joins us from the lab as this October severe weather outbreak still continues. What, a few days later, Jim?
Yeah, a much different day, though, guys, today, thank goodness. It looks like tomorrow certainly was the peak of this, or yesterday was the peak of this, and then we're going to go through tomorrow watching it lift out. But a lot of different stuff going on today versus yesterday. By the way, on Monday into this morning, Dr. Forbes has confirmed 17 tornadoes, 25 still unconfirmed, so we got a long way to go. Many offices from Arkansas through Louisiana, up into Illinois, Georgia out there doing surveys, Alabama as well, Mississippi, Tennessee, all looking at these storms and saying, was this straight line wind damage or was it a tornado? Those surveys are ongoing, and Forbes is keeping us updated with the numbers. So big trough again today. A lot of this, again, paralleling the front. So you don't have that driver coming across into the warm, moist air. So we're severeless for at least the time being. But that doesn't mean we can't have a severe spin up or two. We got a couple areas we're watching here in the downstate, the low country as it's called in South Carolina, and also in the upcountry of South Carolina, keeping an eye on some storms in through there. Earlier on, some storms into Florida with Jacksonville, seeing anywhere from 45 to 50 mile per hour winds and some isolated tree damage there. And back underneath this slow-moving comma head, we've had anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain. And that's the same little comma that was sitting over Kansas City last night, and that's why the Royals didn't play. So looking really at the warnings that we have, guys, right now it's flash flood warning. So good news. Greenville, Pickens, Transylvania County. Remember, it's already rained in through here, and now this is the cold front, seeing a little bit more heavy rain. But watch out. We've got a couple little line echo waves here that bear watching. We could get a little charge in the wind up I-85 into the Greenville-Spartanburg area. So, you know, maybe something that could reach close to severe limits. We've seen one of these little comma heads right up in here, pretty much transition out, but another one starting to form down near Beaufort, and that's pretty much moving up toward the Charleston area. So we'll watch this as it moves up toward Charleston. And I have a feeling Sarah's timed this out for me. That's exactly what she's done. 8:01 p.m. Is about the time it's going to move into Charleston, Somerville, right there on the 744. So please keep an eye out. Could be some damaging wind, obviously lightning. So whether you have a warning out or not, remember these storms still contain lightning, and lightning, as you know, is very, very dangerous. Just ask my buddy Dave Malkoff, who was pretty lucky last night. Thank goodness he didn't have to deal with any injuries with a lightning strike that came very, very close to him. 47 miles per hour at Jacksonville International. That was enough, again, in the area to knock down some trees. The winds could have been a little bit stronger, certainly, especially if the anemometer wasn't right there, but there was some reports of tree damage. Nasty south and east of Orlando, coming over toward the Space Coast. Daytona, you're about to get into this as well. Storms have moved through Clearwater Beach now, sitting over the Tampa Bay. So a rough evening commute for many in through here. But again, the good news is a lot of this is sub-severe. It's just more of a lightning situation and heavy rain around the Bradenton area. So here go the models into tonight, looking potentially a little robust. We'll see. We'll see. Storms, again, will pass up through South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. You'll be into this. Western North Carolina, again, Western Virginia as well. Some of this, again, is going to be mainly a damaging wind threat with maybe an isolated tornado. And we will watch this move north towards Syracuse, Washington, D.C., and Norfolk tomorrow. Remember, that low is still going to lift on out, and we're still going to have that warm, moist air out ahead of it. So, as I've been mentioning, the National Weather Service has been doing survey teams, or have had survey teams out looking at tornado damage and straight line wind damage for the last 12 to 24 hours now. And one of the areas they're looking is Atlanta. We had an interesting situation that came through about 5 o'clock this morning, Dr. Greg Forbes, and you really had to be looking at a lot of the small stuff to find the potential here that we had tornadoes.
Yeah, there was a big line. Most of that line did not have damage in it, but it was little kinks in the line, little small ones that had an EF1 and an EF0 at least confirmed as tornadoes.
Yeah, these weren't big supercells.
No, they were just little kinks in a line that had some little small circulations. You can see the big bow echo that rolls flying by here from the southwest to the northeast, from down near the International Airport. And all the way up into the northeast suburbs there, Alpharetta, with some damage in both of those areas. So let's move along then, and we'll go into some of the details here. East Point has had an EF0 confirmed, at least one location there. And we'll take a look here. If you look carefully, embedded in this broader line, there's actually a big bow echo in there, but it's usually the small ones that cause the problems. If we look carefully here, we'll see that there's two